In my travels, I've come up with this sort of theory about public transit in major cities, and the theory goes kind of like this. There's something essential about the identity of a city that is contained within its public transit system. I'll give you a few examples. If you go to London, which is home of the world's oldest underground railway, it becomes immediately obvious that the underground is an essential part of the city. It's kind of hard to imagine London without the tube, and it is so embedded in the way the city works and in the history of the city. The two are kind of inseparable. Like, for example, tube stations were used during World War II as bomb shelters during the Blitz, and the system continues to grow and expand and to get more and more sophisticated as the city grows and expands and gets more and more sophisticated. To give you a Canadian example, if you go to Montreal, as soon as you enter the metro, you realize that it is basically a time capsule for that sort of late 60s, early 70s heyday of Montreal. From the trains to the art to the architecture of the stations, it basically feels like it's 1967 again. And then if you go to, say, Toronto, you realize very quickly that the Toronto subway is trying very hard to be the New York subway. Go figure. And then we come to the sleepy little government town that I call home. Here in Ottawa, we have been inventively screwing up public transit for so long, I'm actually surprised that there isn't a commemorative coin of someone standing out in a snowstorm waiting for an OC Transpo bus that deep down they know will never come. But then about 7 years ago, just under 7 years ago, something happened. We decided that we were going to build light rail transit. We were going to have an LRT. No, like for real this time. Like seriously, it was actually going to happen. The plan was to spend $2.1 billion to build this thing. And at that price tag and at the scale of the proposed project, it would be the biggest public works project in this city since the Rideau Canal. And then, for the sake of making a terrible pun, things got off the rails pretty quickly. There were all kinds of delays, all kinds of kind of interesting construction and testing mishaps over the course of the development of this thing. And basically the end result is that the contractor in charge of building the system missed not one, not two, not three, but 4 separate deadlines for delivering what's called the Confederation Line now to the city of Ottawa. And anyway, as all this was going on, the whole thing became kind of a victim of its original slogan, which became more and more ironic as time went on. To summarize all of that, basically, Ottawa's LRT story is a large dumpster fire of bureaucracy and mismanagement. And if you've ever lived in this city, you know that there are few things more Ottawa than that. Today, however, none of that matters, because today is the day that I finally get to ride the damn thing. And we get to find out if after all of that trouble, we've actually ended up with a train that is any good. Okay, well, that's a lineup. Okay, well, this is Rideau. This is going to be my local station. Wow, all right. There's some people that have turned up for the opening here. Okay, so I turned up at the right spot.
Ça, c'est une grande journée de célébration pour la ville d'Ottawa et certainement pour le centre-ville. We just finished the inaugural run. Took 25 minutes from Tunney's Pasture in the west to Blair Station. A beautiful ride. And in just 16 minutes, the train's coming to the Rideau Station. So enjoy this amazing technology that we have. It's gone through lots of bumps, as you know. It didn't exactly come in the day we wanted to come in, but we want to get it right through those doors. Literally in 15 minutes, the trains will start running. So enjoy it.
Okay, so there you go, 15 minutes. Okay, here we go. Good, here we go. Smells new. Okay, Jesus, how many stairs are there? Okay, this is 4 flights of stairs. How low is this thing? Ooh, yes, lining up for things. I do enjoy this. Okay.
I'm not quite sure. Maybe try it at a different...
I opened the door for somebody.
So you'll have to contact a customer service rep?
Okay.
$2?
Yeah.
Okay. For right now, there's not much I can do. I can send an expedition for a refund, and it's going to take a little bit of time. Because your refund from any one of the...
Okay, holy jeez.
Westbound train to Dunny's pasture is arriving. Please stand away from the platform edge.
I'm not getting the whole leaning out the door at every station. Is that a thing? It's a thing. Got through Canada there, interviewing people on their first experience. I need to be part of that trend.
Tunney's passenger station. Last stop. Dernier arrêt.
Okay, so that was interesting. Train-wise, that was actually quite good. It's actually quite a good first impression. It's a good, firm, like, government handshake. But now, see if I can figure out how to escape this bloody place. How do you get out of here? Oh, you gotta go through the station. Okay. Okay, so to explain to you what was going on there, because that all happened a little bit fast. Basically, I tried to use my Presto card to get in, and I know this works because I use this to take the bus. I'll just jaywalk, that's fine. Holy wind. All right, I'm gonna shield this with my hand. Okay, in my eagerness to get onto the train, I tapped like right behind someone who was getting in, and for some reason, the fact that I don't even know. For some reason, I tapped my card and the gates didn't open. And then, when I tried to tap it again, I got that message that you saw. It said that already tapped. I gotta say, the customer service there is typically Ottawa. It's just, oh, you have to contact somebody else.
So you'll have to contact a customer service rep?
Okay. Basically, what they're telling you to do is you got to go talk to the box that's on the wall, the ticket machine, and that's not terribly helpful. So anyway, what I ended up having to do is I bought a day pass so that we don't have that problem anymore. Okay, so now why am I standing next to a sketchy fence in a video that's supposed to be about trains? Well, you can see, you look down here, that is the trench where the trains run. So that used to be the transit way where the buses went, and now they've obviously ripped up the road, and that's where the Confederation Line runs. Now, the reason I'm here is because I think a week or two, probably 2 weeks ago now, there was a story published in a major news outlet about people who live in some of the buildings along this trench here, complaining about the noise of the train going by. And specifically, one of these people said that the train was as loud as a fighter jet when it went by. And I read that and I thought, that seems like an exaggeration and a half. But anyway, I wasn't gonna assume anything, so here we are. I'm literally as physical, like I'm on the ground, I'm literally as physically close to this as I can be, and here comes a train now. I don't know what way it's coming from. There it is. Yeah, well, no. That was not as loud as a fighter jet. I'm sorry. That might be a little bit of good old NIMBYism going on there, because yeah, no, it's a small little train, and yes, it's going through a trench, and yes, it's all hard surfaces, and the sound echoes a little bit, but a fighter jet? Are you kidding me? No, sorry. What that sounds like is a small train going by. Okie dokie, so now we got that debunked. We're gonna do what you must do the first time you're trying out a new public transit system. This is the westernmost terminus of the line, and what we're gonna do is, starting from here, we're gonna do every single station all the way down the line. And we're gonna start here, so this is Tunney's Pasture. This is where, if you work for the government, this is probably gonna be your station. They're not that ugly. Remains to be seen how well it ages. It is very kind of, very, what's the word I'm looking for here? Gray, that's the word. It's very gray. But anyway, they're nice. You know, the glass is nice, and you've got some nice stonework there and places to park bicycles, which is good. And, you look inside, and it's actually, it's not that bad. So this is the actual train part, and you can see just behind where there's some buses back there. That is where you would transfer if you're commuting from the suburbs to the west. This is where you get off your bus, get onto your train, and then go on down into the downtown core, which is what we're going to start doing now. All right, let's see if we can do this right this time. So, scan. Aha. Very nice wall. It's a whole big news event. Okay, while we're waiting for this to get moving, I want to show you something. So you see that digital readout there that says the direction of the train and the time, and then when the train is moving, that shows you what your next station is. Here's something I noticed when we were on the way here. Come this way. Yeah, you notice how the yellow bar is completely blocking the readout? Are you kidding me? Are they that dumb? Like, really?
Station. Connection to line 2.
Okay, so welcome to Bayview, where, if this thing had been done at the time it was supposed to be done, my commute to university, which is that way, would have been absolutely fantastic, because I would have been able to ride the train from Rideau, where I got on, to here, and then transfer directly onto the Trillium line, which is now line 2. This is the original O train, or actually it isn't because they've changed the train. It's the original O train line anyway. But yeah, anyway, I would have been able to take the train to here, transfer to this, and then get directly into the middle of campus. But I finished school 5 months ago, so rip that dream, I guess. But anyway, station-wise, it's got the same idea. It's big, open, airy, gray. Big with the gray. But anyway, it gets the job done. It's not terribly elegant, and I mean, I would have sort of hoped that for $2.1 billion you'd get something that looked okay. But anyway, concrete it is then. Seems to be music at literally every station too. That's pretty cool. Probably just a first day thing. Yeah, I suppose you kind of need your heavy-duty warnings like that. I feel like it's the kind of thing people would go for. Oh, which leads to an interesting point. So, for some bizarre reason, the trains they chose are what are called low-floor vehicles. So, like, they're meant to run at grade, so you can get on them from the ground. Like, you can just step up onto the train. Now, they still work in a setup like this, but the downside is they're literally right on the tracks. So that actually leads to a situation where that might seem reasonable, because like if you get a standard subway vehicle, you're like 2 or 3 feet off the, you get in like 2 or 3 feet off the ground. Here, you're like a foot maybe. It's, I don't know if that's necessarily the safest way of doing that, but it's what they've gone with. So we're a bit stuck, because if they want to change, you got to redo all the stations, and that's not happening. First time around was expensive enough. I am actually, yeah.
Try it.
I should see it?
Yeah.
Okay, I will.
The panels, and look at the Bridgeburg glass panels on the side.
That's at the next station?
Yes.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out for that. Thank you. I actually got to see this time. Interesting little signage there. What that says is, I'll show it to you. To open door, it's got to be bilingual. Wait for green light, then push button. So not only you saw just then, do you not have to wait for the green light for the door to open, the light is red. So clearly the people that made the button and the people that made the signs did not collaborate on this project whatsoever. Okay, pro tip for power transit users. Take the escalator, walk up the escalator. Okay, so there is the beautiful, nicely landscaped, 2-part Pimissy station, which is built entirely to support the brand new, equally elegant Le Breton Flats redevelopment. What do you mean you don't see it? So anyway, unfortunately, the development of all of the buildings and whatever other junk is supposed to go around this place is, well, not going terribly well. But anyway, the station is still here, and that's nice, and it's on this random bridge here that's built specifically for this. The trains run directly underneath there, and it's not that bad. So what I'll do now is that very nice lady at the previous station there told me that I should go try and check out some of the public art here, so I'm gonna do that thing. So, fare gates, massive thumbs down. They don't work. Like, I mean, even with their own, like this, I printed this out like 20 minutes ago from a machine that's part of the system, and already it's not reading on certain fare, like that. Come on. Okay, so I think this is what she was talking about. So the ceiling here has these kind of weird slats. There's got to be more to it than that. Hang on. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that is what she was talking about. So you got the little canoe thing up there that's made up of a bunch of individual little panels that are all decorated, I think by hand. So, yeah, it's kind of nice. Okay, so welcome to Lion Station, where we need to talk about many things. First of which is door etiquette. So you can see here, this is not a terribly wide platform. And you saw as I tried to, or hopefully you saw, hopefully I framed that shot well enough, as I tried to get off the train just then, there was a wall of people in my face. So this is the first one of our enclosed underground stations, so there is nowhere to go. And during rush hour, this is going to get really full. The issue is that if you're going to do this, let's wait till the train goes away. Okay, that's a little better. Yeah. So if you're going to have enclosed underground stations, because this is all about moving a lot of people around a very small space. Like literally from the platform to the wall is maybe 15 feet. It's really not big at all. And then when you've got the stairs here, it's even less. Like this is like, I'm 6 feet tall, 1, 2 of my full width steps, and I'm on the tracks. Basically, a subway station is getting into a confined space from inside an only marginally larger confined space. And the problem when you're doing that is the people using the system have to be able to move around in that space without running into each other. So that's what I was talking about, door etiquette. You have to let the people off of the train before you can get on. If you stand in the way of the door and try and ram your way on, not only is there nowhere in the train, like there's nowhere in the train for you to go because there's people on the train taking up that space. And there's nowhere for the people on the train to go to get off the train to free up that space because you're blocking the door. So it's going to be so important for people. And I'm not saying that this is a big problem yet, but like just then that was a bit of an issue there. I had to kind of like elbow my way through, well not elbow my way through, but like kind of sidle my way through there. Don't elbow people, that's bad, don't do that. But man, is it ever going to be important for people to figure out how to get onto and off of a train, because otherwise as soon as full rush hour service starts, this is going to get real ugly. Other thing is the city's partnered with TELUS to have cell service in all the stations, so the 3 underground stations are going to have cell service. Now, I don't know if you have to be with TELUS for that to work. I just checked my phone here, and you can see, hopefully you can see, in the top left-hand corner there, come back screen, I don't actually have phone service right now. So either it's not working yet, or you have to be with TELUS for it to work. One way or another, though, there is Wi-Fi, or there's supposed to be Wi-Fi in the tunnels. Let's see if... Oh, here we go. Okay, there's the network called #TELUS. Can I connect to it? Let's try. Okay, so it's the kind you have to log into through a stupid login screen. Yeah, okay, so TELUS mostly transpo. Yeah, but you gotta log in, you gotta give them your information, so that's not terribly helpful. Okay, but anyway, it's there. If you really need to connect to the internet in the 5 to 15 minutes that you're waiting for your train, sure, whatever. But functionally, I don't really know if that's that great of a feature. Anyway, let's do the next station.
And go to the very back.
You have the right idea. You got to figure it out. Thanks. If it seems like I'm being really hard on this system as the train goes, seems like I'm being really hard on everything to do with this system, it's because they have had 7 years to get it right. And they've taken an extra almost year and a half beyond what they originally had to get it right. So, I mean, come on, if there's stuff that doesn't work after that long, that's not terribly impressive. But anyway, so Parliament Station. I assume if you get out here, you can... I actually don't know. I don't know where the portals to the station pop out. Actually, tell you what, let's go up, out to the surface, out onto the street, and talk about getting into the underground stations. Let's do that. For bonus points, take 2 moving escalator steps, at a time. Okay, well, at least the exit part works. I will say, just a little side note here, quite a nice little ceiling. See, that's the way, that is how you do, and oh Jesus, a whole lot of ticket machines. Okay, we'll talk about ticket machines in a minute. But, okay, so that's how you do artwork in a public transit system. It's there, but it's not there, if you know what I mean. That's actually quite pretty. They did do a very good job with that. So now, we're going to talk about ticket machines. Now, these mystical devices have never been seen in this city before. And what these do is they allow you to take your normal money, put your normal money into the machine, and then in return for your normal money, you get a different kind of currency that lets you ride public transit. Now, these are a really special sighting because they've only previously been spotted in every other major city in the world. Red Black's mascot and the mayor there. Boy, it is a star-studded launch day, isn't it? Okay, and we're out into the big wide world. Oh, right in front of the CBC building. So now we're gonna change gears a little bit and talk about something that I really do like about this system. So this is the entrance that I just came out of here. You can see that's Parliament Station there. What I really like is these things. So these big red lifesaver things indicate where the stations are. So you can see there's one here for this one, and if you look down the road there, you can see there's one right around there-ish for the other entrance to Parliament Station. Now, those are actually really nice because at night they light up really bright red and you can see them for like blocks and blocks and blocks. You can see probably at night, you could look down that way and see the ones, because you can just about see it from here, you could probably tell where the ones for the next station are from here. They're really great, so you will never have any issue finding your stations when you're in the downtown core. And that's something that some public transit systems, some subway systems have a bit of an issue with, because you're walking around, especially if it's an unfamiliar city, you're walking around and you're trying to get into the subway, but you don't know where the entrances are. With these things, yes, they're a little goofy looking, but they work. So I think those are great. Back in we go, and I will say, this station is way less deep than Rideau. I think Rideau might actually be the deepest one, or if it isn't, I would hate to see how many flights of stairs you have to go down to get to the deepest one, because this is literally one escalator and then a little corridor down here, and then another totally reasonable flight of stairs here. Okay, now the fare card lottery. No, did it work? No. Aha! Second time's the charm. That's really not impressive. It's not hard in 2019 to have a sensor that reads a bloody QR code. To conclude my going down to the platform saga, so that one last flight of stairs there gets you on the platform. So, yeah, it's a lot shallower than Rideau. Okay, seat off and on. Much better. Sounds like a subway, so they got that part figured out. Nice big electric motor spinning up sound. So I will say one thing, the station design is significantly less impressive than the artist's rendering shots make it seem. Of course, it's always going to look better in the nice drawings than it does in real life, but I mean, we're talking concrete here. This is just, it's not, there is absolutely nothing elegant about this. It's, well, that's kind of nice. The walls are, I will say, are nice. They're like an understated, just kind of clean look with, the typeface is nice. But, yeah, no, as far as the actual train area, not a whole lot for the eyeballs there, unfortunately. Funnily enough, there's actually a fairly large number of people actually using it to commute. Like it's, you know, it's a big event today, but there's actually seemed to be quite a large number of people using it to actually get somewhere. That's kind of cool. So, welcome to Ottawa station, which I'm going to make a bold claim here. I think this is actually my favorite station because the entrance is actually quite nice. It's got the slats up there. I'm doing something that you really shouldn't do right now, so I'm standing in a bike lane. I ought to not do that. Okay, so that's another thing that people are going to have to get used to in this city. It's pedal transit. But anyway, okay, so like along the wall here, they've got these nice photos that do a kind of interesting effect as you walk past them, so that's kind of nice. And then we pop out into the sunshine. You can see we got our friend the Big Red Donut there. And then if we come around the outside here, you can see this has got to be, I think, just this perspective of it makes it my favorite station, because you got this little loop here for bicycles to go down and under there to where we were before, and then you got the station there in the background, and it's kind of, I don't know, to me that actually looks extremely nice. I mean, it is gray, and that's something I'm realizing about this whole system, is that gray is the key color. Like, we're talking like gray. But at the very least, with the gray motif, the roof shape there isn't bad. You know, that actually, it actually looks kind of nice. And you got some green stuff in the foreground too. So it, you know, it kind of works. But seriously though, was the only color you could afford gray? Alright folks, it's now time to play my new favorite transit game. Will my QR code actually work? Aha, first try. The music at every station, nice touch. So we've now arrived at Lee's station, and I will give you 5 seconds to guess what the dominant color of this station is, alright? No hints, no nothing. Just, you got 5 seconds to guess. Alright, you ready? You didn't guess gray, did you? In small helpings, it is actually kind of pretty. Like, you've got, the landscaping is nice, you got green stuff, you've got room for bicycles, and people actually seem to be using the bike racks, which is nice. And the little circle logos with the station name there at the entrance those are nice too. So anyway, in small frames, it is actually kind of nice. But you kind of got to get it from the right angle. Seems to have sorted itself out now, because that's twice in a row that it's worked on the first try. Maybe it's just getting accustomed to me. I was kind of worried before shooting this video that it would, if I was going to use my Presto card like I originally planned, I was a little worried that it would freak out at the same card being tapped so many times. But it seems like with a day pass, at least, you can just go in and out and in and out and in and out, and it's fine. Also, side note, the digital readouts there, very nice. I mean, standard, but, you know, they're good. They show you what train is coming, and, well, the one is a little bit redundant because it's not like there's more than one line that services this, but anyway, you can see where it's going, you can see the time, and you can see how long till your next train. So that's actually not bad. That it's, you know, it's kind of like the rest of this. It's functional. I think that's the right word. It's functional. There's no fare gate to exit here, you just kind of get out. Oh, okay. Maybe they figure this is just so in the middle of nowhere that they don't need fare gates, which is interesting. But anyway, okay, there we go. So welcome, actually here, before we do this, let me get a little further away. Okay, so I was wrong. Basically, that's all fenced off over there, and there's guys over there who are literally just there to tell you that you actually can't go that way to get out of the station. You have to go this way. So that's an indication of a good design. If it's natural to you to go the wrong way, it's not great. Okay, so welcome to Herdman Station, which is enormous for some reason. This has got to be the most perplexing station design out of all of them. What?
When you got up, that way.
Yes.
I did the same thing.
Okay, so you came out.
I came out this way, and you see that big door there. So, well, that's how I get out.
Yeah.
And somebody's going to get killed because the bus is going to come this way. Somebody's going to want to cross
and think that that's the way you're supposed to go out.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not great, is it? Okay. Anyway, well, I got to keep filming this, but good talking to you. Okay, so that's good because that reinforces what I was saying just then about that exit. But anyway, what I started to say just then is that, and there's a bus in the way. Okay, well, at least the bus stopped to not crush someone, so I mean, I guess that's okay. But yeah, so for some reason, whoever designed this station thought it would make sense to have it elevated. Why? I have no idea. Because we're in the middle of an open field. Like, there's, like, behind the station, you saw when we were coming up that way, there is nothing. Like, it is literally just in the air, from what I can tell, for the sake of being in the air. Nice to look at, though. A little bit unnecessary, but, you know, nice to look at. If you're into the color gray. Okay, and the thing is, too, is that this gives me a good opportunity to talk about something that I already knew before starting this video I wanted to talk about all of these exterior stations. Because the nice thing about the 3 stations that are underground, it's a completely climate-controlled space. Like, the temperature is regulated, and it'll never be unbelievably hot or freezing cold. And in this city, that's really, really, really important. Because if you don't live here, if you've never spent a winter here, it's hard to picture exactly how vicious some of the winters can get in Ottawa. Like, I think it was this past year, there was one particular day where Ottawa was the coldest capital city in the world. Like, I mean, it gets, not for many days, but for a few days a year, it gets cold enough that if you go out and you're not wearing a really thick jacket and a hat and gloves and boots, you're going to have problems. And I say that as someone who has learned that the hard way. So when we come to, because there's 13 stations total, when we come to the 10, so most of them, that are outside, you're literally, like if you look up there, you're literally just standing outside waiting for your train, and the wait time can be up to 15 minutes. So, I mean, that's definitely better than waiting like a half hour plus that you might have to wait for a bus, say, depending on where you live, of course, but still, it hits minus 35 sometimes in this city in the winter, and you're just going to be standing there in a huge exterior space waiting for your train. That just, again, there's all these weird, again, before I go in, there's all these weird things all over the place where it's like, yeah, they got some of it right, but I mean, again, I keep coming back to, for $2 billion on something that you had 7 years to get right, some of the weird little oversights are just kind of perplexing. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, it's just saying declined.
Yeah, decline. It's a day pass.
Yeah.
We got problem with it.
Okay.
Now you coming.
All right.
Just be patient, and we'll call.
Be patient, like how patient? In minutes, how patient?
In minutes.
how? Yeah.
Do you mind if I take a picture of your QR code?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
I
have some guy investigating it. You're not the first.
I'm not the only one.
Are you videotaping me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
I'm filming a little video, just going through all the stations. It's all good. I'm not getting your face. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So
we're investigating it.
Okay. So then, basically, how do I get back on the train?
So right now, you'll have to call customer services in that machine. You'll have to contact the customer service rep, and they'll give you a new day pass.
Customer. Okay. I'm gonna begin video chat. Okay. All right. So they can see me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're just waiting, and we'll speak to them.
Okay.
Thank you for calling. Please wait while we transfer your call to the next available representative.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I've got a day pass that suddenly stopped working, and they tell me that you'll be able to give me a new one.
Okay, no problem. Can you just put it up to the camera for me so I can see it, please?
Yeah, sure. How close?
Back it just a little bit, up a little bit. Just back it a little bit. Yeah, perfect. Okay, excellent.
Good.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to issue you a new pass. I'll get you to rip that one up for me, please.
Okay.
I do apologize for the inconvenience of that, but we will wait.
Okay. Oh, so he's actually remotely controlling this, huh? Okay. Tickets are being printed. Okay. Great.
Okay, so
And that should work.
So I'm going to explain your problem.
Okay.
The way the software works is that when you get a day pass,
Right.
you're meant to go to a station, stay at if you go downtown Rideau Center or whatever, you stay there for an hour or whatever. But
Right.
if you take that same day pass and you use it more than 3 times in a half an hour period,
Yeah.
it becomes hot listed.
Okay.
Because you could technically take a picture of that, send that to your buddy.
Oh, and it could
and
be
they
used.
use it every,
yeah.
So
Okay, that
system-wide,
makes sense.
It makes
Okay,
sense,
sure.
right? So for today, it's affecting more than one person.
Yes,
That's
because
using it legitimately, but
Yeah.
that's the way the software is meant to work.
Okay. So
Just so
it's-
you know.
So that's what's happening.
Yeah, so that's
Okay.
what happens. So if you tap it more than 3 times in a 30-minute period,
Okay.
it'll hot list it.
All right. Good to know.
Because it's meant to use, you go somewhere, you stay there for more than half an hour. 50
It's
minutes.
meant for normal usage.
Normal usage, but
For
today's
people
an
that aren't
exception,
crazy
right?
people like me,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah. No, that makes
Just
a lot of
so we
sense.
understand what's going on.
Yeah. Sure. Well, thanks for explaining it. That's really useful.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Better work. There we go. All right. Thank you. I got to be the absolute worst person to be using this today. I'm finding literally everything that is iffy or buggy or a little wonky about it. I feel like there's someone who works at OC Transpo that's going to see this that's just going to find me. Please don't. I'm actually a nice person. I just take my trains very, very seriously. But, oh yeah, again, to pick up on my exterior station point, in this section, there's literally no roof. Even if it's raining, what, if I'm standing here waiting for my train in the rain, what, am I just gonna get drenched? What? Admittedly, it's only the 2 ends of the platform that are like that, but still, come on, you built this massive building, and there's part of the platform where I'm standing outside waiting for my train. What the hell? Who? What? Why? Not green, don't have to press it. Okay, welcome to Tremblay, and is this mirrored? Can I see myself? Yes, I can see myself. Oh, almost. There we go. Hi. Now, I didn't just come out for the decor here, although that is actually kind of nice. This station was worth me burning one of my 3 day pass uses, or actually, yeah, the second of my day pass uses within a half-hour period, because this is the station that links directly to Via Rail station. So, basically the idea is if you take a train from, anywhere Via Rail goes to here, you get off of your train and you come, these are low-budget graphics, you come down here and you can get onto the public transit, and it's really not that far of a walk at all. So that's pretty good. Station design, it's gray. Okay, bonus points here though for openness and airiness. That's something that none of the other stations so far have, because that glass center section there does actually let in an awful lot of light, and it really does make it feel kind of nice and open and big. And actually here, because it is actually enclosed in the middle, if you're standing on the platform in this sort of central area, you are actually a little bit more indoors waiting for your train. So okay, this is actually one of the nicer exterior stations. Okay, so as I was saying, this is Saint Laurent Station, which is glued to, sort of, the Saint Laurent shopping center. And this has a lot more stuff going on. It's a slightly different little design, hangs on to the staunch gray motif of the rest of the network. But you can see across here, we've got some kind of wall art going on there. Now I say some kind of wall art because there's a bunch of crap in front of it, so you can't actually see what's there, but you know, it's there. It's some color. It's not gray, I'll give it that. And then all the way down at the other end of the platform here, you can actually see a little bit of the old meeting the new here. This is the classic OC Transpo bus station red metal pedestrian overpass here. Throwback to what used to be and what is now. I've actually managed to nab, as you can see, an actual seat here. You know, fairly comfy. Feels like a good old public transit seat. You know, comfortable enough that you can get into a good spot, but not so comfortable that you want to stay there for an especially long time. But, you know, they work. Okay, so welcome to Searville, and welcome to something that we have not seen yet, an island platform. And it's called an island platform because there's the platform, and there's trains on both sides of it. And remember when I was talking about earlier how getting like a rush hour peak transit time crowd in these stations is going to require people to actually know how to navigate these kinds of areas? Well, island platforms are just about as, well, not dangerous, because this, you know, it's pretty wide. You know, you got a lot of space here, but, you know, you have nowhere to go. You have train or train. I mean, I might be harping on it a little bit too much, because, I mean, in fairness, there are a lot more dangerous things than, you know, standing on a train platform, and among them is driving. Yeah, anyway, you got train or train. Those are your options. You have no wall to hug here. Okay, well, you heard the robot man. This is the last stop. If we come over here, you can see we've got a pair of yellow buffers down there because this is the end of the line. So there we go. We've done all the stations. Ooh, that's nice. Sorry, I got distracted by that little bit of decor in that glass thing there. It's actually kind of reminiscent of the Museum of Nature. That's kind of nice. Okay, I don't mind that. So there are some, not many, but some little flourishes of color and character and art. But most of it's still gray. But anyway, yeah, so we've reached the end. So this is Blair. This is the easternmost terminus of the line. Yeah, so there we go. We just did all 13 stations. So now, the last thing we're going to do, and this is important because this is something that we do have to check, the biggest thing that the LRT offers, and actually, sorry, here, we've got old meeting new here again. Anyway, the biggest thing that the LRT offers over its previous transitway counterpart is being more reliable. And also, the fact that you can actually get from here all the way to Tony's Pasture, I think a little faster than you used to on a bus, or at least a lot faster than using the alternate modified, using the highway bus routes that have been in service for the last like 3, 4, maybe even 5 years while this has been under construction. So what we're going to do now to conclude is we're going to go from here, so Blair, all the way back down the line, not getting off, to see exactly how long it takes. It's supposed to be a 25-minute journey end to end. We're going to see if it actually happens in 25 minutes. So I'm going to give this thing literally every possible advantage. I'm going to time it with my phone here, but I'm only going to start the timer when the train starts moving, okay? So basically, it's going to be a test of from the moment the train goes to the moment it pulls into the station at Tony's Pasture, is it actually doing it in 25 minutes? That's what we're going to find out now. Okay, here we go.
Westbound to Tony's Pasture. Searville Station. Saint Laurent Station. Doors opening. Bayview Station. Connection to line 2. Doors opening. Tunney's Pasture Station. Last stop. Station Tunney's Pasture. Dernier Doors opening.
Okay, well, there we go. 24 minutes. That's 1 minute less than it's actually supposed to be. And with that, we've reached the end. Thank you very much for sticking with me through this entire video. It was kind of longer than I originally planned it to be. But anyway, here we are. And you'll notice right away that I'm wearing different clothes than I was a second ago. And the reason I'm wearing different clothes is because it's a different day. It's actually been a little over a month now since I shot everything else that you just saw. I'd also shot a conclusion on that same day, but it felt kind of incomplete. So I've come back here to Ottawa station for some final thoughts. First among them is that you've heard me say throughout this entire video mainly negative things about the LRT, but for the record, I'm not here saying that it's altogether a bad system. As far as being able to get around at least this part of the city, I think it's a huge step forward. Like literally in one fell swoop, we've gone from being a city in which it was actually faster for me to bike to a lot of places than it was to take the bus, to one where taking the train is a totally viable way of getting around. And I think that's a really, really huge milestone because taking public transit actually makes sense now. And then as far as downtown specifically is concerned, it's gotten rid of that huge chain of buses that used to form and basically stand still through the whole downtown core for all of rush hour. It got so bad, and I say this from experience because I've done it, it got so bad that it was literally faster to walk through downtown than it was to take a bus. And that problem is gone now because you can just take the train through a tunnel. For me specifically, and people that live in kind of my neighborhood in the Byward Market, instead of having to wait 20 or 30 minutes in the freezing cold in the middle of winter on Rideau Street with the kind of sketchy crew that tends to hang out there sometimes, instead of having to wait there for your bus, you instead get to go right into a really nice climate-controlled station and wait for your train in there, not freezing your butt off. And you don't have to wait very long because even in off-peak times, the trains come so often that when I was shooting my first attempt at this conclusion, they were coming in and leaving Tunney's Pasture so often, it was actually kind of annoying. So, but error in this opening should be definitely fixed. And it could so easily be better. And there's so many things. So anyway, all of that to say that we finally have a mostly functional public transit system in this city, and that's a really good thing. But unfortunately, that's pretty much where the good things end, and where I start to get a little bit sad. I didn't mention this at the top of the video, but if you've seen some of my other videos, you'll know that I do have a bit of a thing for trains, and I have been waiting for this thing to open with kind of the same enthusiasm with which a small child waits for Christmas morning. Like, as far as I was concerned, this thing was being built for me, and, you know, other people could use it too, I guess. But anyway, I wanted so badly for this to be the greatest thing ever, and it just isn't. First of all, it really leaves a lot to be desired visually. Like, it's not much to look at. Like, even this here, and we've got the trees here that you saw before are now a more autumny kind of color. Even this, which I think of as one of the nicest views of one of the stations here, it's not really much to look at. There's definitely been a lot of nice footage shot of it, but the reason I shot this video on just a little camera like this running around is because I wanted the most unpolished, unproduced perspective of the system that I could possibly get. And when you look at it from that perspective, which coincidentally is the same perspective with which people that use the system see it, it's really not that nice. Like, I mean, we're talking bare concrete and, like I say, gray. It is the epitome of design by committee. It's like when so many people all want to get their input included in something, and you end up having to take a little bit of everybody's idea and kind of mash it all together, what you end up with is this just bland, featureless thing that's just a mixture of everything at once, but not really any one thing at any one time, and it's just, well, gray. And then while we're talking about design, the construction by extension is also not very impressive. Like, for something that is finished, I shouldn't be looking at like exposed steel studs and ductwork and like random unfinished drywall. It just looks like they slapped it together. And then as far as the stuff that is finished, so the stuff that you're actually supposed to see, if you look closely enough, you kind of start to notice that a lot of it is assembled with the delicate workmanship of a drunk monkey. It's really not well done at all. And then we come to the main reason that I'm really happy I now have the hindsight to look back on some of the stuff I said on day one. Because in the month plus a little bit that's gone by since, I realized that a lot of the stuff I was saying the first day was actually pretty much correct. First of all, the whole door thing that I was mentioning is a problem. Turns out that people in Ottawa can't for the life of them figure out how to get onto a train. And it's gotten to the point where it's only at one station so far, but I think the plan is to put them at every station on the network. They have little diagrams on the ground. I mean, I know that they have these things in Montreal because I've seen them, but I mean, is it really that hard? Come on. But then also, you can't totally put all of the blame on the people trying to use the system, because turns out, to the surprise of literally no one, trying to ram all of these suburban commuters from an entire section of the city into one station at the exact same time doesn't really work out very well. And then there's all the problems with the actual trains themselves. Like, there's been news story after news story after news story of trains breaking down, having to be taken out of service, and that causing a whole bunch of delays. It's just, there's literally nothing about the system that is done. And the worst part is that all of this comes after they pushed back the opening date 4 times, all in the name of getting it right.
We want to get it right.
And so finally, we come back to where we started this whole video, with my little theory about public transit systems and what they tell you about the city that built them. So then what does Ottawa's LRT tell us about this city? Well, to me, it tells us a little bit about why it's hard for us to have nice things. It's not that we're not ambitious. I mean, clearly we have big ideas, and it's not that we can't execute those big ideas, because clearly we can. It's just that when we do big things, we just don't care enough to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. We don't care enough to get the little things right. We get the presentation right, but the substance is just kind of lacking. The reason I'm making such a big deal about this is because public transit systems, and in particular subways and LRTs and all that kind of stuff, all over the world are a shining example of what a city can do, or at least that's what they're supposed to be. Like, you go anywhere in the world, to any major city, and you use their subway or their LRT or their whatever, and you notice very quickly that a lot of effort and a lot of thought and a lot of care has gone into getting it right. And the reason why that's the case is because they know that these spaces are just about the most used public space possible. I mean, the whole point is that literally everybody uses the thing every single day. That's the entire reason to build one of these things. So most of the time, it's taken as a fantastic opportunity to show off what a city can do architecturally, design-wise, engineering-wise, all that stuff. It's an opportunity to show off how good of a thing you can make. So here in Ottawa, we had an opportunity to show how great we can be. And we blew it. Unfortunately, this is basically us saying, yep, that is the best that we can do. And then if you think about the first day that the system was open, there was the whole big show. Everybody got their little PR moment. But now, everybody that has to actually use the system to get to where they're trying to go are stuck with its shortcomings. When you get right down to it, I think what this really is a very expensive monument to a reality about Ottawa that we might not be quite ready to face yet. Like I say, it's not that we're not ambitious, it's not that we're incompetent, it's that we just don't care. And on that terrible disappointment, it's time to end. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to like and subscribe and do all that good YouTube stuff. And I'd actually be really curious to know down in the comments what you think about Ottawa's new LRT. You can find me on social media at the links in the description. And if you want to see some videos about some good trains, you can check out some of the other videos on this channel. I'm going home now. On foot.